Welcome, Carmen, and welcome everybody who is on the other side with us. I have been really looking forward to having this conversation with you. I've been away for a week, and then we had the retreat together 2 weeks ago. So it feels like it's a long time. This is the first conversation of June, and I haven't had one since sort of mid-May. So it feels like a long time, a lot of space that I've created for this wonderful conversation. So welcome again.
Thank you.
Love
Thank you.
having you.
Thank you, Alina. And it's such a pleasure to be with you here and play with audacity, play with care, play with nonconformity. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Let's set, we set the intention to play. We'll say it explicitly in terms of because that was one of the intentions for me when I set up this LinkedIn Lives early this year in March, to play with those three pillars of audacity when I sort of redefining it. And I'm saying hello to Tatiana. Thank you so much for being here with us, because I never know whether the LinkedIn works or not when it comes to messaging. So let's do that. Let's play. Let's play with these three pillars of courage or care, courage, and nonconformity. So I'd love to hear something audacious about you. So you can pick whichever one of those three pillars you want, Carmen.
So, yeah, I think I will pick care because, as you know, I'm at ADAPTAA, I'm the Chief Happiness Officer. So for me, what's it's so important is to reconnect myself and reconnect clients to our hearts, and that comes through with love and care and compassion. So it's something that I'm really feeling drawn to. But I will challenge myself to also say something about courage, audacity, and nonconformity. In terms of courage, I love working with clients who are allowing themselves to go beyond the the normal way of leading and so much connecting with their spiritual intelligence and what that can bring in others, putting the greatest good on top or above everything else, and understanding that bringing people together in a community or bringing people together to make things, to move things, can be greater than just having personal achievements. When it comes to non-conformity, I would say I'll just want to say a story from our recent retreat. And as you know, um, allowing people to get beyond their usual selves and being playful and bringing exercises like we do in our retreats, where they are becoming childish again. They allow the child, inner child, to come out. And what came to my mind right now is an exercise when we were playing outside in the grass, barefooted, feeling the grass and this, having this connection with nature, and then jumping together, holding hands and jumping on one side, activating our body, but at the same time, just having this really great feeling of freedom and reconnecting with the inner child. So I hope I answered your question, Alina.
You did, and actually, I'm not sure if you were aware of it or not, Carmen, but actually, you started with care, which is, as the Chief Happiness Officer, you certainly have that. You leading with heart. Then you went into the courage, and the non-conformity is the spiritual intelligence or the spiritual leadership that we talk about. That you're very much passionate about, and I know for you are leading the retreats. For us at ADAPTAA, and we've got the Audacious Leaders Retreat, but also the spiritual retreat, as I call it, the
Yes.
spiritual to the Prananadi, and they're sort of two distinct retreats. So I would love to explore that a bit more, because that's part of course, the non-conformity is that people have to immerse themselves. They don't know what they're going to get into, but in my experience, having done this over the last 3 years together, everybody comes out totally transformed, and it's hard to explain into words. You have to come and
Yes,
experience it.
it's an experience. Exactly like you said, it's hard to put it in words. And it's been 4 years, Alina. I just wanted to say next year is our 5th year anniversary, and it's going to be a big retreat in 2025. I'm very excited about it. Um, but what you were saying about the retreats, um, I think if anybody can, just if to say a few words to remember them and understand what they are doing differently in our Audacious Leaders Retreat, I would say it's a moment to reconnect with body, mind, and soul, and bring to life those dreams, those ideas, those impossible things that you would like to create, and make them possible. And as you know, over the years, we've seen these impossible dreams coming to life, sometimes even in a matter of hours, in a matter of weeks, in a matter of months. Every time when we have these reunions with the past participants and they are telling us how fast these things have come to fruition, is just unbelievable. I just, one thing comes to mind, that vacation house in Portugal and early retirement, which seemed completely impossible for one of our participants, and it happened, much faster than she thought of. Or another participant who has started her own business, an NGO in Africa, and is doing really well. So many things that are coming to life. And I feel it's not only us, the coaches, is and the participants, but it's the community that we have created, that we are holding that energy together, and we are lifting each other up. I think that's also part of how we are different. We create this community and the energy. So that's about the Audacious Leaders Retreat. The Prananadi is special in itself because we are learning to work with energy and learning to practice with a ancient Tibetan energy practice form, and that is also another 3 days of retreat. And people are also learning to go deeper into themselves and understanding that there are certain things that are beyond the, let's say, the energy that is not seen. It also exists. And what comes to mind now is one of our participants who was like, I can't believe it, is it true? I can sense the energy with my bare hands. How is this possible? It's just because we haven't been trained in the past. That doesn't mean that it's not there. If we cannot see it with our eyes in this moment, but we can start to sense it with our body, it's opening the mind to magic. I think this is something that we are bringing to our clients, a bit of magic, and making possibilities.
It's not even a bit, Carmen. It's a lot of magic. But it's interesting to see. So, thank you, and saying hello to Jose and to Mary and Tatiana and whoever is here. But it's absolutely, and when you just brought me into awareness and consciousness, because you're right, it's 4 years, not 3 years. How fast time goes. We've had 4 of them. And actually, in terms of retreats, I've done more before in Italy, in the UK. So it's a long history. And you just reminded me that I am a live example of those dreams coming true, the impossible becoming possible, because it was the first retreat that I, planted the seed for my book to have a mainstream publisher in May. And by the end of the year, that year, I had the deal, and the book is coming out this August. So, and that is, that's one of the stories. Of course, it's my own personal stories, but every single one of our participants, I'm sure if they were here, they will have their own stories to tell.
Exactly. And remember, we planted together another seed last year, I think, or actually maybe it has been already 2 years, when we said we would like to go really big and create a retreat village in Transylvania, right next to the hotel that you own there. And that happened like overnight. Somehow it felt like overnight that land became available, and we were able to purchase it, and that dream starts to take shape. And so I think there is definitely, it's a magical place there to plant the seeds of impossible dreams, or not so impossible dreams anymore. But yeah, I see it will happen. We're already making steps in that direction, and who knows, maybe by 2025 we'll have the first village house in our new village in Romania. So it'll be amazing.
Well, no, absolutely. I will set the intention now. And I'm sort of realizing that because we know each other so intimately and so well, and maybe some of our listeners, will not really know what it is that we're talking about. So the Audacious Leaders Retreat and the Prananadi, it is something that we do every year in Transylvania, in the hotel which oversees the Dracula Castle. We're doing it in May, and yeah, we've done it for 4 times, will be fifth time, and I think we are in the process of whoever wants to join. It's usually limited at 14 people because of the capacity, and we're more than halfway, I think, in terms of people. A lot of repeat loyal customers are coming, which is amazing as a testimony to us. And you're doing audaciously this year a new initiative. So you're doing the Return to Self retreat in October. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, yes, it's true. It's another project from passion and heart. Um, in this retreat, we will be connecting at a deeper level, also with the energy. We'll work with the body, with meditation, with mindfulness. We will learn some energy techniques, and we will slow down. And I think this, if there is one word that I want people to remember, what is about returning to self is slowing down. So this, I see this as a retreat for people who are stressed, who are overwhelmed, who are doing too much, always in the doing mode, and they need a moment to slow down so they can speed up again at a later time. And if I may, I can share with you the inspiration for this was my own story. When, as you know, about 5 years ago, I had a burnout that pretty much reshifted my life and my career trajectory. That, thanks to it, I'm very happy. I became a coach, and I'm doing now what I really love, and I'm very happy for it. But I can still connect so much with the people who are in need of taking a break and slowing down. And that was the inspiration for it. So you came with the idea, let's have also a massage. And I said, yes, let's go for it, because we need to reconnect with the body, with the senses, and slowing down, taking time to do nothing. How often do we stop in the middle of the day and say, I'm going to breathe now, I'm going to take it easy, I'm going to slow down? So hopefully that retreat will give some tools and some practices that can be taken at home, very simple and easy to use and put into practice. It will help the participants to keep going, keep slowing down, and then speeding up. So adjusting and recharging on a continuous basis.
Yeah, what comes to mind actually is relearning to breathe, because it's the most underutilized tool that we have, and it's the most powerful, interestingly. And even that, just reconnecting to self and to this ability to breathe, which we forget. And yeah, our own mentor Tatiana's here, but he would always use this phrase of slow down to speed up, which has been a real challenge for me personally, and I know it's a challenge for, I dare say, all of our clients, not even say most of our clients, because in this world, which is so fast moving, to slow down, which is when we really create. That's when the creative juices come, I always say. And it's not easy for someone, definitely I'm talking for myself, who's constantly running and sprinting to slow down. And yet that's when magic happens, as you said. So yeah.
And the beauty of doing it in Transylvania, and then already so much, but maybe for the people who have connected with us for the first time, we are in the middle of the nature. We do have the panoramic view of the Dracula Castle on the other side, but around us are the Carpathian Mountains and the forest. We have a small lake, the field, the flowers, and so on. It's so unbelievable how many clients that I'm working with, they say, I haven't had the chance today to walk outside. If I'm working from home, maybe that's all I do. I wake up, I get ready, I get in front of the computer, and that's all I see. I see the computer screen. I don't connect with nature. I don't feel the breeze of the wind in my hair. I don't feel the sun. I'm not really in the elements. So it's becoming a luxury in many ways to have the time to give ourselves the permission to slow down, so we actually do recharge fully and be able to perform at very high levels.
Yes, and I'm biased because, of course, the hotel, which was built 20 years ago, the same time, it was birthed at the same time as my son, and my dad built it. So I think it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. Of course, I'd say that. But we play with the elements, as you said. So, the air, we have the fire, we have the water, and all of that is available there, and having access to it, and playing with it. It's extremely powerful.
Yeah, and we've seen it. We've seen it with our participants, and remember, I don't know if you remember also from this retreat when we were approaching day 2, and they felt like, wow, it's been so long already, and it's only day 2. There's two days to go, and it feels like, okay, I've gained so much already. What else is there? What else is coming? And that's the beauty, and also for us coaches, it's so amazing to see that sparkle of joy, to see that sparkle of discovery, connection with the intuition and happiness. Seeing those smiles is priceless. So yeah, I'm really excited about the upcoming retreat in October, Return to Self, and then of course our uh, flagship, I would say, flagship retreat, right? In Audacious Leaders Retreat in 2025, when it's going to be, I would say, a huge party. And for the people who have never experienced us, it's a great opportunity to come and join. And of course, for our community members, it'll be an amazing moment also to reconnect with old friends and make new friends as well.
Totally, and I think it's the power of community. I think we can, because we've had people who have come 3 times, and you always sort of wonder, why would you go a second time or a third time? And I just came back, so today's Monday. I keep forgetting, time almost stopped for me because I was away for a week in Arizona, in Sedona, doing a retreat where I was a student this time, so treating my own soul, being on the other side. And it is extraordinary. I mean, we do that in Transylvania, is that those 4 days you recharge your energy field, as I call it, batteries in layman terms, for another year.
Yeah.
Or at least 6 months, and then the what you come back with, it's it's incredible, really, because it just gives everybody who is present or who has experienced it, I think, and I know we're talking for them, but we've got enough people who share that with us, and we've got the testimonials. It's in sort of day 3 is like, it feels like it's been 3 weeks, not 3 days, because there's just so much energy that's moving, and in the community, and everybody's learning from each other, is from us as 4 facilitators or 4 teachers that we are there, but from each other is even more. And that's the power of sharing.
To the power of testimony, I think yesterday or 2 days ago in our community group, one of the participants wrote that he is walking with more confidence, and he has found a new drive in his leadership, and he's feeling more empowered. And he was wondering what happened. I don't feel like there's something that I have done, but of course he's been doing, and he's been practicing all the tools that we have shared. And it's so beautiful to see these transformations, because this, and I think for me and for all of us, when we start to transform, we see this ripple of impact on our own family, on the community around us, the networks at work, and so on. And when a leader can become so powerful from the inside out, so not using force, but really using the power of love and self connection, authenticity, kindness, and so on, and they feel confident, the energy they emanate is very different. So people feel attracted, they feel drawn to this. We like that. We like to see it, right? It's contagious. Like we say, emotions are contagious, whatever we call positive or negative, they are contagious. But when somebody's able to stay in the high frequency and impacting the people around them, it's magical.
Yes, and I want to say it's like the same with us, but when you've been on some of these experiences, and we've been on both sides, is you then go to the real world, in the real life, and still carrying some of that energy. And most people will say, "What did you drink, Carmen? What did you drink, Alina?" And because it's visible, that energy is palpable. And it's absolutely, it's the same. It's having the energy where you attract, and we all know when someone comes in the room. and is full of anger or frustrated, we feel it immediately. And it's again, we feel someone who is in love and gracious. We immediately, there is no denying of that energy field.
Like you said, we want a little bit of that as well. We want to be part of it, and yeah, it hear me or see me, because I saw that it got a bit frozen. What I was going to say about the retreats, it's something that we can talk about a lot, but in order to really understand what it is, it's something one needs to experience. It's not something we can explain in words. So hopefully, yeah, people will get curious and interested to experience it for themselves. Because I also feel like in life, there's so much we can learn from books, there's so much we can learn from others, but there is also this our ability to learn from inside out. And that's what we also teach here in ADAPTA, leadership from the inside out. So when one is aligned with themselves, they are able to give exactly what you said, that powerful energy, they give it out because it's coming from within.
Yes, and I saw Helen saying, very interesting. It is true. I mean, the role models. My newsletter, which I do monthly in Audacious Leadership, it is about the best leadership model is the role model, and then we have our own in ADAPTAA the newsletter, which is the authentic leadership, and it's the same. It's the only way to the biggest testimony is of course it's how we walk through life and how our clients walk through life and how they show up differently in a way, and with courage and with care, daring to bring love in leadership. That's pretty audacious and non-conforming. Yeah. So but I'd love to hear one more, bringing ourselves back to center, and this whole idea of me redefining audacity through care and through courage and through non-conformity. Give me one other story about you and being audacious rather than doing anything audacious.
Well, let's see. I think I can share this story. I think it's from 2 years ago, if I remember correctly. I think yes, because it was right in the middle of the COVID, and I wanted to travel with my kids to visit family, and our flights got canceled. And I remember we are in the train going to the airport, and we received a message from the airline. Okay, the flight is canceled. You can return back. We got out of the train. We came home, and my kids were what at the time. Our daughter was 7, and our son was 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I was alone with them traveling. My husband was abroad working. And then I said to them, I think it was like, 6 in the evening, 7 in the evening. And I said, you know what, guys, do you want to jump in the car and drive all the way from here to Romania? I didn't even know.
Here being Switzerland to Romania.
Yeah, Switzerland. And they were like, yay, great, let's do it. And I was having that courage because I really wanted to go, and I was concerned if we change the flight, it might be canceled again, or our return flight will be canceled. So going by car would mean that we have that security. We know when we are going, when we are coming back. But I did not know what I was getting myself into, because in the end was over 2,000 kilometers of driving on my own, because they were, in the back trying to be quiet, which they were. They behaved really, really well. And trying to find places along the way to rest and sleep. And very quickly, talking about the universe aligning the planets, very quickly somebody in Germany, a friend, actually my sister's boyfriend, said, okay, you guys can stay over here in Munich when you drive through. And then somebody in Hungary said, okay, you can come over, we wait for you. And we arrived at outrageous hours in the night, but they were there for us. And we made it in in 3 days and 2 nights, going slowly, and the kids were exemplary. But when I got to Romania, I was having this conversation with a guy who's actually a how do you call that, lorry driver. He's a lorry driver, and he's driving a lot throughout Europe. And he was looking at me and he's like, I can't believe you did that. I know what it means. I've been doing these routes a lot. and I have experience, and this is what I do all my life. I'm driving, and you just did it like that, like, you know. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then I realized, wow, it is a big deal when he was telling it to me. So I think sometimes it's a bit of craziness and a bit of courage put together to just make these things happen. And like we always said, taking the first step, right? Moving one step at a time, and then we'll see where the next step is taking us.
Yeah, and actually, what's coming up for me, Carmen, it's of course, and that's so inspirational because for me, this is one of my biggest fears. It's just driving on the motorway. Is like no way. You know, when I heard that story, I just thought that I found it so inspirational. And when we are in action or in motion to achieve something that's really dear to us, so it's so important to you to make it to Romania, especially in that time when we had such a long pause, you know, in terms of seeing our loved ones. And then you become resourceful. This is why it's not the resources outside, it's the resourcefulness inside of, and then suddenly the universe aligns, as you said, which is, it's big language to use, big words. What does that mean? You know, but actually you will be sent people in your way which will be there to help you, stopping in Munich and then somewhere else, and then which is amazing. It is amazing a story in itself. And I now just remember that I quoted that story in one of my chapters. I think it's the chapter of adaptability. Carmen just doing this crazy audacious thing, going from Switzerland across Europe with the two young kids in the back. So what's the biggest lesson, I suppose, for you just from that little story?
Just coming back to your book, I can't wait to read it. I pre-ordered it, and I can get my hands on it. When is it coming out, Helena? When is it actually coming out?
Well, thank you for asking that question. So it is 22nd of August is when it will be out in the world, in the shops, I'm told, certainly here in the UK. The book can be pre-ordered on Amazon UK, or many, not just Amazon. I think you can now find it in Waterstones, you can find it in the bookshop. So there's a lot of shops, online shops, that it is available. You can order it, but it will only be delivered.
Okay.
Not saying only, it's only a couple of months now. So it's coming around very fast on the 22nd of August this year.
And what a magical day, 22nd of August it is as well. So yeah, it's gonna be such a big celebration. I can't wait to read it.
Yes, and I'll tell you a very quick story. I know we've only got 3 minutes, but actually it is interesting with this, because this has been a very long process. So the writing of the book has been, will be 4.5 years by the time this book will be brought into the world. And I remember how disappointed I was when the publisher said, I was hoping that it will be out in the world in the spring, sort of, and they said, no, it's going to be August. And I truly was disappointed, thinking, oh, I've been waiting for so long. And now I'm so grateful. And I didn't choose the date. The date was chosen for me, 22nd. So it's 22/08/24. And then I suddenly realized I've got 3 2s in there, the 222. So, again, for anybody who's here, who's got a little bit more of a spiritual inclining, there is, even numbers and words have meaning.
Yeah.
If we wanted to. And so 8 is becoming, and I said that, an important number for me, but definitely the 222, which is the collaboration, our 222 leadership that we set up 4 years ago, and it's 4. And so I've got all the numbers that I loved. I've got 2, and I've got 4, and I've got 8.
Yeah, and now we are 4 at ADAPTAA, which it's absolutely fantastic. And those 4 A's in ADAPTAA, and there's so many things that are just aligning right now. So it's really beautiful. I can't wait to read it.
Thank you. And actually, it is 8. So the book is all about audacious leadership, and it's the Audacity spectrum, but it is an audacious. So I've got the, the Audacity star, and the Audacity star is like the North Star. So you've got 8 apexes of that star. And it wasn't meant to be that way, but it was meant to be that way, because I had 7 and the editor decided I needed to have an extra A. So I ended up with 8.
Hey, there's always some kind of a important message that we don't understand at first, and look at it now. And yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I'm starting to get excited and apprehensive as we're getting closer to it. But I mean, thank you, Sylvia. I can see we've got head, heart, and gut, and how to combine them. Thank you, Jose. Yeah, really, looking forward to getting to know some people that are going to come onto our retreats, that, getting the community. I think you have also started, the community leader, to put our community together, which is another big dream of ours, and we're only just getting around to doing it.
Yes, yes, and that was also coming out, naturally and in so much flow from our community participants when they said we want this to happen. But I will stop now because I'm conscious of the time. I see it turned, the 30 minutes just turned. So thank you very much, Alina. It's been really a big pleasure. And yeah, let's continue the conversations. I will set that intention.
Yes, let's do that. I think we're meant to. I think you and I to do it in June rather than when we thought about it. That was the possibility, but to doing it after the retreat and ahead of your new retreat, I think it was divine timing, if I dare even use that word. But definitely a great timing. So thank you for your energy. Thank you for being here, for your playfulness, and thank you to everybody who's been with us there and still will watch it later. And absolutely, I'd love to continue the conversation. What's coming up to me? We should do a full ADAPTAA, the four of us again.
Oh, that would be amazing.
So let's set that intention too. So thank you, and then see you all soon. And definitely you and I will continue.